What is going on, everyone? It is Lauren. I am a business growth coach and I work with creative entrepreneurs, teaching them everything they wish art school taught them about business, helping them troubleshoot their process and translating their passion into multiple streams of income. And so I am actually trying out ECAMM Live, and I wanted to see how this is going to work. So I figured I'd just run through a little training that I have on live and see how it goes so we can all benefit. So I want to talk about the 5 steps for creating a successful marketing campaign. It's 5 steps to creating a successful marketing campaign. So before you can have a marketing campaign that is actually successful, you need to determine a couple things, but one thing in particular, and that is, who am I trying to serve? Until you know who you're trying to reach, who you're trying to serve, and you have some clarity in terms of your message, you are going to struggle kind of applying what we talk about, because that is foundational to everything else that we're going to discuss. So number 1 is make sure that you know who you're trying to serve and that your message and your messaging is clear. So once your message is clear, then you can jump into the steps that I'm going to outline here. So step number 1, and you'll see why I say this, is go and hang out where your ideal clients are. So for me, because I work with creative entrepreneurs, I've been spending a lot of time in Facebook groups for graphic designers, for artists, spend a lot of time on Clubhouse, in rooms for artists, learning different things that I don't necessarily know because of my background, but I know that my ideal client is in those places. So I listen, I find ways that I can add value, I find ways that I can kind of demonstrate my expertise in a way that makes sense for my business and my business model. So that is number 1. You want to go and hang out where your ideal clients are. Then you want to get into conversation with them. Figure out their pain points and their challenges. This is something that works really, really well, again, on Clubhouse as well as on Facebook and Facebook groups. You can post questions in Facebook groups that are really just engagement posts, but allow you to get some real information about where your client or your ideal client struggles, or the things that they need help with, and how you can provide a solution that will lead them to you. Excuse me. Sorry, an alarm went off. So so you can ask questions that will lead them to you. I have done this several times in, again, the Facebook groups that I listed earlier, and I've gotten a lot of information that has helped me craft some of the free resources that I have available for people to take, and ultimately that allows them to be put on my email list, and I can nurture and develop and build a relationship with them through my email content. So if you're watching this live, go ahead and let me know in the comments if this is making sense. If you are watching the replay, hit #teamreplay. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave that and I'll come back and answer those questions. So then once you have gone to where they hang out, and once you've gotten into conversation with them and you know what their challenges are, then you're going to go to what I just mentioned, which is creating free resources that address their challenges that you identified in step number 2. In marketing, this is something called a lead magnet. So the way that I would position a lead magnet for a photographer, for example, let's say they're a wedding photographer, one of the ways that I would position it is saying the 5 mistakes that can ruin your wedding photos and how to avoid them. If I'm a bride and I'm looking for a photographer for my wedding, I'm going to want to know what are those 5 mistakes, because I don't want my photos to be ruined. I want to memorialize this day in my life, the most important day in my life, in a way that I can feel good about, that I can feel proud of. And so I want to know what that is. And for me as a photographer, they are now my ideal client because I'm a wedding photographer, right? And so I now have a resource that can coach them through what are the things that they need to avoid. It can be simple, low-cost things, and one of the solutions, one of the 5 ways that you can avoid that is by hiring me as your photographer, because I specialize in wedding photography and I have a special framework to make sure that everything goes smoothly. I don't know, but let's just say that that's your business and that is what you would include in that resource. Now this could be a 1-page PDF, which would work, and it would get people on your email list where you can begin to develop relationship with them and nurture them. But I want to take it a step further. So we're going to step number 4, which is over deliver to win their confidence. We don't want to just offer a free report that's a 1-pager, because that's what everybody's doing. But now imagine you as the same photographer, and you, in addition to the free report, you have a 15-minute video training where you talk about the ways that you can improve the aesthetic of your wedding, for photos, to make sure that you're getting as much bang for your buck as possible. You can also include in that training some ways to maximize the time that you have with your photographer, really letting your ideal client or customer know how you provide value for them. Right? And so now this is setting you apart. You're not just every other wedding photographer. You are somebody that really is an expert in your field. You care about your clients. You want to make sure that they get as much as possible and that they are served and served well. And your ideal client will feel that, right? So maybe I'm looking for a wedding photographer, and now you've hit every single thing that I could want. And at the very least, I'm going to want to book a call and kind of maybe do an engagement shoot with you to see what your work is like, and if I feel comfortable and my partner feels comfortable with you as the photographer. So once you have gone through this framework, the last step, and let me get my marker. The last step for you to take is ask for the sale. A lot of times my entrepreneurs stop short right here. We're not asking for the sale, and the sale is service, right? You are in business to serve your clients and customers, and how you're able to do that is through the services that you offer. And so you have to remember that selling is service, but it doesn't have to feel uncomfortable. It doesn't have to feel sleazy, because before you've asked for the sale, you've gone through this entire process to build a relationship. You've allowed them to get to know you. You've gotten to know them. You've identified and showed that you understand the things that are important to them. You've offered to help them in a way that is meaningful and doesn't ask for anything in return, right? And then when just because it was free, just because you were offering value, you offered it in a way that was actually more than they expected for a free resource. So by the time that you get to the place where you're asking for the sale, it's not inappropriate. It doesn't feel weird. And so this is my 5 steps to a successful marketing campaign. And if you want any assistance figuring out who your ideal clients are, or how you can come up with a free resource to attract your ideal customer, or what are some ways that you can over deliver in order to win their confidence, go ahead and leave a comment below. I'd be more than willing to assist you however I can. And I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, this was just a super quick training because I wanted to test out the equipment here, but also I wanted to give some value. This formula right here has the potential to make you 6 and 7 figures, right? Like even if you're a larger organization, you can still have a team that's responsible for engaging in the places where your ideal customers are. You can still consistently be in forums that allow you to figure out what the pain points and the challenges are of your customers. You can be polling existing customers and clients. You can still have a team that's working on creating a free resource that addresses the challenges that you've identified. And you can always over deliver, and you should always be making offers and asking for the sales. I hope that this was helpful, and until next time,